What's good, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony, aka Descendant of Chaos and Controversy, and so I did a video asking the question: Is America racist? And I had mixed feedback based on that particular topic of discussion. Now, in the midst of all this recent violence and tragedy that's going on or has, come to pass, the question that I ask now is America a violent culture or defined as such? Is this the characteristic that America can be identified as? And I saw a lot of people that were trying to create scapegoats to try to rationalize or lay blame on to avoid taking any accountability for what it all boils down to in all reality. Okay. I know for a fact that America, based on its history, from whether people want to use the talking point of slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, and all the events that took place during that era, the dealings with law enforcement, the dealings with mafia, the mob, or whatever, or even us going to war with other countries. You look at some of these shows that I can use as an example. My grandfather, when I stayed with my grandparents at a certain point in time, was in the westerns. It was shoot 'em up, OK Corral, you know. um, if not that, there were kung fu flicks that my grandfather was into. You look at a lot of these TV shows that had a lot of references to like police, the shoot 'em up type of TV shows, the movies that we entertain. Then we can get to the music and I guess the video games, so to speak. But all of that being said, we manufacture a lot of weapons here within this country, and it's funny how when you look at certain movies and there's certain things that they point out, like just for shits and giggles, let's just use the reference of Tony Stark and Iron Man. When he found out that his Stark Industries was weaponizing these terrorist groups and stuff like that, because he himself got abducted and his I forgot his detail, his military detail, got ambushed by the very weapons he created, or Stark Industries created. Same thing with America. When we were talking about the terrorist group that Joe Biden got the blame for when the American troops got pulled out or whatever, and all the weapons from the tanks and everything got left behind for all these terrorist groups to go and just be scavengers of. I mean, I just look at a lot of things and say, damn, it's funny how, like, when you look at certain areas of entertainment, they be like subliminally trying to tell you facts and truths, but we just look at it as being entertainment, a distraction, so to speak. You look at like some of the sports, like UFC, physical contact, boxing, physical contact, football, even though that's been kind of, I don't know, over the years. But still, physical contact. I mean, you look at how law enforcement interacts with us and how in other areas they just don't act at all. And it's kind of crazy when you take a step back and look at it from a different perspective now, because now, especially with that incident that happened in Uvalde, Texas, it's like when you need law enforcement to be aggressive, as they are in other cases, they aren't. And then when they need to stand down, they don't. And every excuse is given on either end, no matter how you look at it, to just validate their inappropriate behavior or their incompetence. But for us, we're just condemned to just be judged right off the rip. Because as I keep saying and reiterating this, supposedly law enforcement are to be held at a higher standard, but they are not. Citizens, on the other hand, are, and we shouldn't be. And we are the ones that are paying the price. And it don't matter if you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, or what have you. We are paying the price. And the ones that are seemingly to be paying the utmost price and are put in a category that's beyond being labeled as collateral damage are our children. They are subjected to too much shit that they shouldn't be. And we are responsible for that. But again, there's no accountability. There's no acknowledgement. There's always just the finger pointing and the blame game. No real solutions, because we're not here to solve any problems. We're only here to entertain the chaos and pretend to do damage control and pretend to act like we care and pretend to give a fuck and to pretend to act as if something will be done, but nothing ever does, because the same shit keeps happening over and over and over and over again. So, me personally, I'm just at a point to where I would just rather people be honest and just say, you know what? Yes, this is what it is for what it's worth. Nothing is going to change. We're not going to do anything to change it. It's going to be business as usual. And just hope and pray that your family and your loved ones don't be subjected to the unfortunate events of any type of tragedy that may cause you to lose a loved one. I'd rather deal with somebody being honest and truthful, telling me to my face that they don't give a fuck and that they ain't gonna do shit, instead of blowing smoke up my ass and everyone else's. Because America, truth be told, if there wasn't so much profit to be made behind tragedy, solutions would have already been put into place. But being that people profit off of other people's misery, it's not going to happen. Tragedy is America's cash cow. And people may sit there and hoot and holler and talk about, oh, there you go, you seem to having that anti-American rhetoric. Nope. Because all these stupid fucking outdated cliches and slogans that people hold so dear to, saying, this is America. land of the free. We got the Constitution and this and that and other. You know, this is what makes us us. But what really defines you as an American? What really defines us as Americans? Besides entertaining division and our differences and our dislikes for one another and being violent towards one another. But ever are we also quick to look at everybody else and cast judgment on other people and talk about what we disapprove of when it comes to other people in their country. And I was sitting there saying, what right do we have to even do that when we are not without fault within our own backyard amongst ourselves? And as harsh as this may sound, to other countries, we are a fucking joke. We're just a comedy sketch to them. We're just one country who think we could police the whole fucking world, and even that is coming to a fucking, cause I'm just saying, it's just, I'm just looking at the current state of America, and it's just not a promising, I don't even know what to call it, moving forward. Our education is a joke. They just pass kids because No Child Left Behind, and this doesn't fucking just fall under the kids in the minority groups, because there are a lot of white kids that I come across that talk about how teachers just pass kids, you know, whatever. And they're white. So you can't just say that that's some shit that just, you know, falls or is directed towards blacks or Hispanics. Because that's a false narrative right off the rip. I could tell you firsthand. Having a family structure, that shit is like also becoming outdated, and because we don't have no family foundation anymore. There's hardly anything as family tradition. There's no job security. There's no real health benefits for those that try to have a family, or even for themselves. You shouldn't have a healthcare system that puts people in debt. I mean, how much sacrifices do we have to make for this country that is offering nothing back to us? It shouldn't be a struggle to survive. It shouldn't be living paycheck to paycheck, making these decisions to know what the next day will bring. If there's going to be a roof over our head, or food on the table, bills being paid. And then if you don't meet certain standards, people want to come in and take your kids away from you because they want to say that you're unfit, even though that's nothing that you really have that much control over because of the system that we have now that's so fucked up. And then you have those that do take your kids away, put them in foster care, and kids are dying in foster care. But they try to tell you that you as a parent is unfit. But where's the accountability and the responsibility when tragedy happens to your child under their watch? I don't know. This is a video, I'm just venting. It didn't really have any structure to it. Um, Again, I do these videos when I get off work, so I'm tired as hell, and it's the only time that I'm free from having my kid with me until he comes back to me in the morning and stuff for me to do these videos. But I'm just looking at the culture of America and looking at how it is characterized as being violent as fuck. And nothing's going to change. I don't foresee that happening. And there's too much pride invested in, taking a step back and having a mature sense of acknowledging that there's a problem to be addressed, but we already know when it comes to addressing issues and stuff, people make excuses, deflect from, and don't want to put nothing on the table to solve a fucking thing. So my question is, what's the point of a fucking discussion to begin with if there's going to be no ending solution? You just fucking talk just to hear yourselves fucking talk. Doesn't make any fucking sense. And then people sit there and try and challenge me. I said, you guys really don't understand the acronym, the title that I go by, and the intent is purposely made, descendant of chaos and controversy, because this is what this country is about. Chaos and controversy. And this is the type of material and content that I put on the table for discussion. And it ain't to invite people to start having personal attacks towards me. It's to really have an open, honest dialogue about shit that people don't want to talk about. Or they debate, but they don't come up with nothing as a problem solver. It's just arguing against other content creators on talking points, but no one's coming up with nothing. And I can say for myself, I'm guilty of the same shit. I'll be the first one to fucking admit it. But I acknowledge it. I mean, yeah, I could throw some suggestions out there. But as hard-headed as a good majority of us are, we're not willing to listen because we don't care. Because we have come to a point where our motto is 0 fucks given. Live for today because tomorrow isn't promised. But anyway, that's what I had on my chest. Until next time, until next video, please leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe, hit that like button, hit the dislike button. Either way you choose. But until next time, until next video, peace.